Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do something different. We are going to test all these fluxes in here and see which one is better, if there is any difference between them, and which one should we use. Also, I purchased all these fluxes, so this is not a sponsored video. Nobody sent me this to test. This is a totally honest review, and the intention of it is so we can see if there is any difference and also help you guys maybe choose. You see them in action, so you can choose one of them. You don't have to buy all of them like me. Anyway, what we have in here, first we have the original Amtech LF-4300-TF, which I put it in this syringe for easier use. So this is the Amtech. We also have this icing soldering Flux SD360. It comes in a max tube like this with a pumping system. It also comes with a smaller syringe like this ones. Then we have the Mechanic UV-10. Then we have the Aixun UP-200. Sorry, UP-200. This is I think this is the same like this one. And then we have this one, which I put it again in this syringe, and this is again the Aixun Solder Flux AX-023. We're going to use the syringe, it's the same one. Then we have some Rosin, which I converted to liquid using some alcohol. We're going to use this as well. So for the test, we're going to do the following. We're going to do first, we're going to check the viscosity of the flux, how easy it is to clean after, and then we're going to burn the flux with the solder iron at 380 degrees and see how much flux remain on the board, and we see as well how much fumes it makes, and I'll tell you the smell as well. And then we use this board so we can solder something and see how the soldering looks like. Now we're going to also test the resistance using the multimeter, because all these fluxes are sold as non-clean, and if you leave them on the board, we're going to see if they alter the resistance of the system. Anyway, I'm going to use first this magnetic project mat to check the viscosity and the resistance. Just to be fair, let's test first, see if this mat has any resistance whatsoever. So you see the mat itself doesn't have anything, right? Now let's start with the Amtech. So this, it comes out really nice. Let's see if it has any resistance. Now we got about 5 mega ohms. Okay, now let's clean the leads. Let's clean it. It is a bit oily, but it comes out perfect. Let's clean the mat. Now let's put it on this again, a little bit on this high temperature mat, and let's burn it. Let's clean the tip first. Okay, so let's burn the flux. So this is the smoke that it makes. It actually doesn't smell that bad. Okay, but you see there's not much left. It's burned almost all of it, you see. Now let's clean, and let's clean the mat as well. And let's go to the next test. So this was the Amtech. Now let's take this Aixun, which one was this one? This was the Soldering Flux AX-023. We're going to put it again on this mat. There's no resistance on the mat, right? You see, nothing. Let's put it again. It comes out nicely, same like the Amtech. Checking the resistance. Wow, 135 mega ohms. Okay, my guess is because this has a lot of rosin. Let's see how it cleans. Yeah, it comes out nice. Maybe a little more oily than the other one. Okay, same. We clean the mat. Let's clean it again just in case. So let's put a little bit in here as well, like we did with the other one. And let's clean the tip. Okay, same 380 degrees. I'm actually not touching the mat. It makes, I would say, pretty much the same amount of smoke like the Amtech. The difference that it lasts longer. You see, we still have flux on the mat. You see, I'm burning it away. You see, we still have flux. So from this point of view, it's better. Let's clean the tip and let's clean our mat testing area. It is harder to clean than the other one. Okay. Now the next one, let's test our rosin. This is the rosin I made. Put a little bit. Well, I didn't check it on the mat. Let's put it on the mat first and check the resistance. Again, no resistance. Let's put a little bit on the mat. Same like the Amtech. We have about 5 mega ohms. I don't think it's from the rosin. I think it's from the alcohol I used to deal with the rosin. Let's put a little bit of rosin in here and let's try to burn it. Okay, so we clean the tip. We are the same 380 degrees. Oh, nothing. No smoke. Is my iron working? Yeah, the iron is working. But it makes absolutely no smoke and we still have flux on the board. Very little, very nothing. Beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. Okay, now let's try this one now. This is the Mechanic MCN UV-10. Let's put the mat again. Now let's check resistance on the mat itself, 0. And let's put a little bit in here. It comes out nice as well. So far, they all come out pretty same. Let's check if it has any resistance. Wow, no resistance. Wait. No, no resistance. Maybe I touched the leads. No resistance, you see? Yeah, no resistance. Which is good if you're not gonna clean the board. But I'm going to clean this mat because we have a few more to test. Okay, now let's put a little bit in here. I think it's more liquid than the other one. Again, let's clean the tip. We are still at 380. Let's go. A lot less fumes than the Amtech and the Aixun. And it's holding on to the board better. You see, we still have plenty of flux in here. I'm still burning, it's still here, you see, it's still here. Phew, it smells worse. Wow, this smells really, really bad. Man, I shouldn't have done that. It smells horrible. Smell wise, 0 points. Okay, now let's try this one, Aixun UP-200. Okay, let's see. We put it on the mat first, we said, right? Let's see if we alter the resistance in here, and we didn't. Very liquidish, very nice. It's almost transparent. Ready, 3, 2, 1, let's see. Nothing, no resistance. Let me go closer, closer. No resistance whatsoever. Okay, which is good if you're not going to ultrasonic or clean the board after. Okay, now let's see how it burns. I'm gonna put a little bit in here like we did with the other ones. Okay, let's clean the tip. Okay, so the tip is nice and clean, beautiful. And let's see, very little smoke. Now let's try to burn this flux. I'm burning, there's a bit more, smoke now. Phew, also very bad, smells horrible. Yeah, but we still have flux on the board, well, on the mat. Now let's clean it. Okay, so it's nice and clean, and this was this one, right? Now the last one is this mechanic nano flux, whatever it's called. I think this is the same like the M35 they're selling. This is the SD360, and I think this is the same the North Fixed Bridge is using as their new nano soldering flux. Let's test this one. I like the pumping system, really nice. Well, I should have put it on the mat first, but let's leave that there so we don't waste it. Let's check first the resistance on the mat. It's 0. Let's put a little bit of this mechanic in here and see what's going on. Nice generous blob. 3, 2, 1. 0. No resistance. Beautiful. Whoa, this is, you see, it's more sticky than the other one. You can't see what it is. Okay, but it cleans up nicely with alcohol. Okay, it's beautiful. Now I have this blob in here. Let's clean the tip. Tip is nice and clean. We are at 380 degrees. Again, burning the flux. Very little smoke. Let's see. It's actually, check this out. It still doesn't smell as good as the Amtech or the Aixun Rosin one, but it's almost no smoke. You see, very little smoke, and we still have plenty. You see, we still have plenty of flux on the board. You see, beautiful. Okay, let me clean. Okay, so we tested the resistance and we tested the viscosity, we tested the smell, unfortunately, and we also tested the how much is how quickly it evaporates when you burn it. Now, next we're gonna use some of these boards and we're gonna solder some parts, and we're going to see how nice the solder, how nice it flows, and we're gonna compare them as well. Just give me a minute, okay? Okay, so next step is to try to solder something. We're gonna use these boards, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break them so there's no possibility that flux jump from one board to another. Okay, so let's see, and we are going to mark them. Okay, this is, let's say, oh man, I can write on UP-200. There is this. This is, okay, that's right, Rosin. Okay, this is, what is it? The SD360. SD360. Okay, that is this. Now, this is the Amtech LF-4300. Amtech. Okay, this is the AX-23. Okay, okay, and the last one, this is the UV10. UV10. Okay, so we have all the boards in here, right? Now let's get one of these nano sponges. And let's clean them first, clean the boards first. Let's clean all the boards. Okay. 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 Okay, and the last one. Okay. So now let's start with this one since it's here. Now this is the mechanic UV10. Okay. Now let's go under the microscope. Okay, so we have the board in here. Now let's put a little bit. Okay, We are going to use the same solder for all of them. Now let's clean the tip and let's see where. Okay, we set 2 rows. Okay, let's grab our nano sponge and let's clean the board. It looks pretty decent, right? Now this one is this one. Okay, now let's take the next one, which is the Aixun 023. Again, we're gonna put a bit of flux on all the pin and pads, right? The same like we did with the mechanic. Very fast, very nice. Okay. As you can probably see, we still have a lot of flux on the board, so we can keep soldering if we want. Now let's see how nice it cleans. Okay. So this is very nice, right? Still a bit of oil on the board. It looks a bit oily, but it's nice. It cleans nice. Okay. So this is the. Let's do now the Amtech. Okay. Very nice application. Okay. No problem whatsoever. Okay. Looks decent. Okay. Let's clean. Do we still have any flux left on the board? We still have a little bit, but most of it is gone. So let's clean. Okay. Let's put this in here. Now let's do the next one. The next one is the Aixun UP-200. Okay, let's see. This is more like a gel. Okay, let's clean the tip. Keep it nice and clean. I'm using too much temperature for this board, but we started with this, so we're going to continue with this. This way the test is fair for all of them. Okay. Very nice. I don't like the smell. The smell is bad. I don't like it. I know, fume. Oh, what was that? I told you I'm using too much temperature. This is boiling. Bad, very bad. Very bad smell. Let's clean it up. We still had plenty of flux on the board. Okay, so this was the Aixun UP-200. Okay. Next one, let's do our homemade rosin. This is more liquid because we mixed it with alcohol. We're gonna use same temperature. Wait, you can't see anything. Now, the smell on this is not that bad. It smells like a rosin. Rosin is nice. Brings up good memories. Okay, this smells. This is the smell wise. This is the best of all of them. Now we got them all. The smell is not bad, and if you check it out, there is plenty of rosin on the board. You see, this is rosin in here. When it dries up now, it's gonna crystallize. But let's clean it while it's hot. This is also the easiest to clean, especially if you clean it when it's hot. Rosin is just wipe right off. So this is our rosin. Okay, and the last one is the mechanic SD360. Let's see how the application is. Okay, so it's got a nice pump system. Let's clean the tip and let's have a look. Very little smoke compared with the other ones. Okay, like you can see, there is still plenty, you see, plenty flux in here. Flux hasn't burned out. So let's clean it. It looks like a yellowish fluxy color. I think it contains some rosin. Okay, so let's see this one. Let's see how we do it. I can see it properly. Okay. This is the mechanic SD360. Okay, this is the Aixun UP-200. This is our Rosin. This is the original Amtech. This is the Aixun AX-023. And this is the mechanic UV10, I think it is. Now let's go back to the top view. Okay, let's clean a little bit the table. Okay, and let's bring them all in here, see if they we can fit them all in here. Okay, so they all look pretty much the same. Okay, in terms of quality, they all nice and shiny. Now let's see which one left less residue. We did clean them, right? So no, I think we do it better with some Q-tips. Okay, so let's see. We take this mechanic icing SD360. Without any alcohol. So you see we still have a little bit of flux in there. Now let's take the rosin. The rosin is the cleanest. Almost nothing, you see. The pure rosin. Okay, let's take another Q-tip. And let's go for the Aixun UP-200. As well, looks clean. I can feel the Q-tip moving freely. It's not sticking. Almost nothing. Now let's do the Amtech. Now here there is some residue left. We did clean all of them the same way, so you see there is some residue in here still after we cleaned. Let's take another Q-tip. Now let's do the Aixun AX-23. Yeah, there's definitely in here. I can feel that it's sticky. Okay, so not too bad actually. Okay, and the last one is the mechanic UV10. Yeah, not too bad in terms of how much residue they left on the board, pretty much the same. Maybe the pure rosin less than the other ones. Okay, let's go back to the microscope again. Okay, so here we have them, all of them. Yeah, this is the mechanic SD360. The next one which is this one, is the Rosin. The next one, which is this one, is the Aixun UP-200. The next one, which is this one, is the Amtech LF-4300. The next one, which is this one, is the Aixun AX-023. And the last one, which is this one, is the Mechanic UV10. Now you can pause the video if you want, so you can see them. But I think in terms of quality, they're pretty much the same, right? Now I did like this Mechanic SD360. Okay, it's very clear. It's called nano flux or something like this. And like I said, I think this is the, or very similar to the Rosin that Not Fixed Bridge is using as their new Rosin. This was the video. If you like it, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.